So, hello everybody and welcome. Yes, welcome back here at BSN Network. Kaduki back here, BSN Network. This is BSN Network podcast here today. It is Friday, June 4th. Hopefully everybody's having a good day so far and a good rest of their day yesterday. It is in fact Friday, June 4th here today as we head into another packed sports weekend ahead of us. We will put the cherry on top for the week of podcasts, and like I mentioned, head into another weekend with a lot of sports on. Yankees start up a 3-game set today against the Red Sox. Nets play tomorrow. Mets play today. Islanders took a loss last night. They have a day off today. So a lot to get to, a lot going on in the sports world, a lot going on in the New York sports world, and obviously another big day ahead of us in sports with the Yankees starting up a 3-game set against the Boston Red Sox, our rivals, one of the greatest rivalries in all of sports, and that should be a very fun series. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited about it, and I really believe that, we're going to be on our, the Yankees, if we get good pitching and we find ways to hit, I believe we can get this series, at least take a game from it. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be, an easy task at all. The Red Sox have been a very good team this year, and the Yankees got to come out and play well, and that's the storyline. And the Yankees yesterday, to recap what happened yesterday, did not play well. The Yankees looked like trash yesterday, to put it at that. And the Yankees have these games where we look good one game, and then we really tend to struggle the next, and that was kind of a game yesterday. We looked really good the back-to-back games. We were winning. We looked good doing it. And you're like, okay, whatever Boone said to this team seems to be working. We took 2 from the Rays, and we have an opportunity to win this 4-game set, taking the third yesterday. And then they come out flat, and they don't look good, and they get crushed 9-2. And that's the storyline with this Yankees team, has been a little bit of inconsistency. We look good for a couple games, and then we look terrible. And then we look good again, we look terrible. This team's been too many ups and downs. We got to find a consistent path, and that's really how you get onto your win streaks and get into your winning ways. And the Yankees got to do a better job of doing that, and we'll find out what this team is made out of, because tonight and tomorrow and then into Sunday are big games against the Red Sox. I mean, you cannot possibly get swept by the Red Sox. I don't care how good the Yankees or Red Sox are. Both teams could be eliminated from the playoffs. I hate losing to the Red Sox, and I'm sure Red Sox fans and players hate losing to the Yankees. And it makes it even more of a reason why we want to beat them, is because Alex Cora. And Brett Gardner said that yesterday, is the Alex Cora. Now that he's there, obviously he was the leader of the cheating there in Houston. Obviously, you look at it now, and Cora's back coaching, which I don't believe he should. And they're cheating, and obviously, with the cheating scandal and stuff like that, now he's back coaching. It even gives you more of a reason why to root against the Red Sox and hope that the Yankees get the win. So, Yankees play today. Mets play today. Islanders, like I mentioned, day off, as they have a game. Last night they took a tough loss. I was watching that game. Yankees were not. I was watching that game, and I turned on a little bit of the Cardinals game. I forget who the Cardinals were playing. I can't believe I'm forgetting. But I turned a little bit out of the Cardinals game on. I watched pretty much the whole hockey game. Just the one intermission, I turned on the Cardinals game just to see what's going on, and then I could turn it, and I was watching the hockey game. So I was watching the hockey game last night, and the Islanders, they had pressure. They just could not put the puck on the back of the net. They had some opportunities. Early in the game, you had Belvillier had a breakaway early in the game. It was a nice breakout pass by, center ice, and near the neutral zone, he got it, got past the defender, took a great shot, and it missed. I mean, it just was one of those things. He tried to go to the left side, he had it on his stick. He could have went top right. He decided to go left. On the goalie, that was the goalie's right side, but TV angle, that was the left side. So, and he missed it, and that's an opportunity right there to score. And then they scored. Obviously, Matthew Barzal scored a big goal to send it to overtime, but they were not able to get their job done. And a tough loss for the Islanders. First game in the Nassau Coliseum of the series, it was rocking. I mean, the place was going wild. And then you come out, and I don't want to say it's a flat performance, because it's just It's not a flat performance. It wasn't. But at the same time, it wasn't what we're used to seeing out of the Islanders. They had chances, weren't able to put the puck in the back of the net. And to be honest, this season, this playoffs, the Islanders have done an excellent job of putting the puck in the back of the net, of getting, shots on goal. They've done a great job of that. So, tough loss for them. Big win for the Bruins. Take a 2-1 lead. They always say that's kind of the swing game. Because if you win that game, you got a pretty good shot at winning the series. So we'll see how the Islanders respond in Game 4 coming up. And, let's get into the topics for today's podcast. I promised I did Jets OTA update. I said I was going to do it on Wednesday. I don't think I did it on Wednesday. Did not do it yesterday. I might have even said to do it on Tuesday. I think I said to do it on Wednesday. Did not do it. Did it yesterday. Did not do it. And I decided to do it today. And there's actually a lot of news around the Jets and, some injury updates. And Jameson Crowder, there was just some news that got released about him with his contract situation. So the New York Jets right now are, going through OTAs, going through the normal, OTAs, and, getting ready for training camp, which will be upon us very soon. Actually, I believe, a month from now, training camp should be underway. So I believe next week will be mandatory minicamp. Today was their final day of OTAs. Saturday, Sunday, they got a day off. Usually players will come in, get treatment, do whatever they got to do. And, so I'm wanted to get an update to the Jets, talk a little about Wilson, talk a little about how things are going, the coaching staff, some of the news, some of the injuries that have went on. And I really wanted to, just get to it and get rolling with it because, definitely some updates and definitely things that need to be said. And, want to get into it. Nothing bad. OTAs are rolling, but I just want to give you my update, give you my opinion on some things, and we'll get into that. And I know I was going to talk about Coach K. I got backed up a little bit with Coach K. That happened, Wednesday? It was Thursday, did not talk about it. And then for today, I'm not talking about it. It's a little old by now. I don't know really if you want me to talk about it. I might talk about it. It's very big news. I don't know why I'm not talking about it, to be honest. I really don't. Because it's partially the biggest news we've gone in college basketball in a really long time. But, and it's not like I don't care about it. I do. I mean, Coach K, this is big. I mean, Duke might never be the same when he retires. But there's just other stuff, and I don't know why I'm putting it aside. I have stuff I wanted to get to, but I don't know, something about, the NBA and, the MLB and stuff, but that stuff's kind of on the front of my mind right now, front of the stuff to talk about. So, college basketball, not that it's on my mind, not that I don't want to talk about it, it's just I feel like in a way, like MLB news or NFL stuff or, in this case, some more NBA stuff, I feel like that's in full spring right now, and I really want to get caught up on that, and NHL too, because that stuff's in the playoffs, that's extremely important. So, I was going to get to my second topic. I want to talk about the Lakers. The Lakers got eliminated yesterday, and that's big. And I know some people might say, what the Trailblazers did too. I really wanted to hone in on the Lakers because it's a team who won the finals last year, a team who looked good doing it, and now they have been eliminated, and this is big. I mean, what does the future of the Lakers look like? What is LeBron going to do in the future? What does this team have to do? This team doesn't face many questions in the offseason, but the big question, there's one big question is, how much longer is LeBron going to play? Because to be honest, he did show some signs of age this year. I mean, he did show some signs of not being the LeBron we're used to seeing. So I wanted to get into that. Then we'll finish it off with the New York sports update. Obviously, Yankees play today, Mets play today, Islanders day off. Nets will start their second round series tomorrow. I don't think I forgot anything. Obviously, the Knicks are done for the season, and the Rangers have been done for a long time. And we'll get the Jets OTAs. They're rolling right now as well. So, with all that being said, this is the BSN podcast, and let's get into it. So the Jets OTAs across the NFL, OTAs have been underway. OTAs have been going now for, I would say, about 2 weeks. I'm not exactly sure how long, but they have been going on. Teams have been playing. Coaches have been coaching, and so far so good for all the 32 NFL teams around the league. There's been some big names that haven't reported, like Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think Devontae Adams has shown up yet. And obviously next week's big because that's when mandatory minicamp really begins, and that's where where pretty much everyone will show up, everyone will get rolling here. And the New York Jets obviously come into this season, they don't have Super Bowl aspirations on their mind. It's not the expectation to win a Super Bowl. Obviously, every team's goal is to win a Super Bowl, but really what this year is for the New York Jets, this year is a big, I feel like, improvement year. This has been a team that has been the laughingstock of the league for the past, for the past decade, really. We've been the laughingstock of the league, and especially most recently when we hired Adam Gase, and obviously last season went 2-14 and got the second overall pick, and I think we were even worse than the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think if the Jaguars and the Jets played against each other last year, I think the Jets would have lost that game. That's just my personal opinion. That's besides the point. That's in the rearview mirror. The Jets now have a completely different outlook going into the 2021-2022 NFL season, and obviously it all starts now, and that's how I look at it. Like OTAs right now is kind of like, it all starts now. Like this is the beginning of, the multiple month run that this team's going to go on. This is the beginning. It's only June. The season's going to start in September, and it's going to go on and on and on and on, right? 17 weeks. This is 18 weeks, 17 games. This is just the start of the NFL season. This is just the start. Like, you're only getting a little piece of what to expect in the NFL season. That's where OTAs is always fun, and I'm excited. I love it. I love watching the highlights, some of the clips and stuff. Now, can you tell everything? Just because Zach Wilson throws a touchdown pass doesn't mean he's going to throw 60 touchdown passes this year and win the MVP. Just because this guy catches the ball and runs it for 15 yards doesn't mean he's going to be the best player. It doesn't mean he's going to be the best receiver. So you can only take away so much from OTAs. Now, I really like to really judge what I expect out of players out of training camp, because training camp is really when you run a lot of the scrimmages, all the players are there. Like, that's really when it turns into almost like a practice environment where you're just going through it, getting more reps. By then, these players really pretty much know the playbook, and by then, some of these guys like a Zach Wilson, by training camp, he'll probably be really running the offense by himself, getting audibles and calling different things. Now it's a lot of Matt LaFleur and helping him out, because he's still learning the playbook, obviously, and then he's going to continue to learn it, watching film and things like that. So training camp, I really believe is like the real time to judge players. Like, you could really tell, okay, based off what I see out of this guy, I think he could be a solid player this year, or whatever he does here. OTAs is still a little tough because it's still so early, and for a lot of these guys, like the rookies, this is still their like learning period, and then once you get to the training camp, that's really where you're expected to come together as a team, practice, and really that's your full-on prep to get ready for the season. Because really, whatever you do in training camp that's what's going to translate going out there on week one. And then obviously throughout the weeks when you have practice, you're only going to get better and better and better. And that's obviously the hope, is throughout the season, throughout the years, and this Jets team continues to get better and better and better and more competitive and more competent instead of what they've done in the past couple years where they've been awful. So what I'm seeing so far to the Jets OTAs is there have been a couple injuries, but there's a lot of just the normal stuff. It's a lot of just not going through the motions, but it's just a lot of just, reps and more reps and just really nailing it into these guys' heads what they got to do come game day. And actually, the NFL season, week one, the Jets play 100 days from now. So it's only 100 days away from the start of the New York Jets season, which will take place Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time against the Carolina Panthers. And that's what it really is right now. It's a lot of reps. It's just a lot of just, getting in reps, for Wilson. It's a lot of throws. It's a lot of just, meshing with his receivers, still learning the playbook. Because even though they had rookie minicamp, that was only like a 3-4 day thing. You're not going to learn the whole playbook in 3 days. It's going to take you some time. It's going to take you way more than 3 days. It's going to take you a lot of film sessions. It's going to take you a lot of learning on the field. It's going to take a lot of just reading over the plays and just really nailing it into your head what the New York Jets got to do on offense. And obviously, same thing for the defensive side of the ball. These guys, too, got to know where they're going in coverages. What little coverages, what type of coverages, are you running a nickel, are you running a 3-4, are you running a 4-3, all out blitz, safety blitz, corner blitz, are you going to do zone, are you going to have one guy, slot, whatever the case may be. There's so many different formations, especially on the defense side of the ball, and the same thing for the offense side of the ball. If a team's running a nickel, how do you counter that? What do you do? Play action, long ball, run, whatever you do, bootleg, whatever the case may be, these guys got to learn it, and that's what I'm noticing so far in OTAs. It's just a lot of reps and a lot of the same thing. And so far, it seems like from what Coach Saleh has said and from what Coach Matt LaFleur has said, the offensive coordinator, he has said that so far it's been pretty solid. It's been pretty solid in terms of it's been pretty solid. Mike LaFleur, rather, it's been pretty solid, in terms of just, learning the playbook and getting in that. And Mike LaFleur said it a couple days ago. Obviously, he said it a couple days ago in a press conference, and he said that Zach Wilson, he just loves to watch film, and he could see it when he is, watching film with him, because obviously Mike LaFleur will watch the film with Zach Wilson, and obviously he says that Zach Wilson has just been, you could just tell, he just loves the game, he loves watching film, he loves to break things down, and obviously Mike LaFleur will have a lot of input on what they do each play. But if you're running a no huddle, if you're gonna run a no huddle, if you're gonna run a hurry up offense, Mike LaFleur might not have all the time in the world to say in Zach Wilson's ear what play they're running. Zach Wilson's going to have to do that himself. He's going to have to go up there, make line change. He's going to have to go up there, read what the defense is doing, make any audibles he needs, and then obviously hope that it's a successful play. And that's really what they're learning here in OTAs. And so far, I would say Wilson's been pretty good. Like I said, it's 7-on-7, some 11-on-11 drills. Wilson's not even getting hit, so he's got a live pass rush, but to be honest, they're not allowed to tackle him. They're not going to hit him because he's the quarterback. So it's in a way, he has all the time in the world. That's the one thing. When training camp comes around, when they do the scrimmages and stuff, I don't believe they can do that either. But still, obviously, still good to see. And actually, I really noticed so far that you could tell Wilson's really trying to hook up with some of the young guys around him. Guys like Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, and even some of the new players that have come in here, Corey Davis and, Tevin Coleman and guys like that. He's really trying to build chemistry and really trying, to build that, relationship with those guys, that kind of that trust factor in a way. And obviously they're able to do that. And so far, injuries, there's been some injuries. There have been some players that have been out. But I would say overall it's been relatively clean. We haven't had any major injuries, which is a really good. There's been a couple little nagging things here and there. I know Corey Davis has got a little bit of a nagging shoulder injury. But other than that, Mekhi Becton has some plantar fasciitis, so he'll be out a couple weeks. But it doesn't seem like anything severe. They said he should be ready, 100% full ready for training camp. So he'll probably return when training camp comes around. And obviously, just for him, another thing too, his second year, he's got to make sure that he gets the reps that he missed in OTAs. He's got to make sure he gains those back in training camp, and just obviously, like I said, it's just a lot of rep work. It's just a lot of just going on, and I mean, to be honest, like I said, Wilson's he's really trying to take that leadership role. He's really trying to go out there. He's really trying to just go out there and, throw and, just get the reps in, learn the playbook, build chemistry with the new guys that are in. Because to be honest, everyone's new to him. And especially build chemistry with some of the rookies because those guys are brand new as well. So this is their first experience as well. You want to make sure you're on the right page with them. Some of the veterans, they'll be able to adapt easier than some of the rookies because they've been in the league. A guy like a Tevin Coleman, he's been in the league for a little bit now. He'll be able to adapt. Denzel Mims, second-year player, he had a quarterback last year, Sam Darnold. He's got a different quarterback, so that might take some time to really build chemistry with him. But Wilson, I thought, has been doing a pretty good job of just trying to build and build and build and build and build. And that's really what I hope, and that's what I think. Now, as for the defense side of the ball, Mosley, they've said. Like I said, I've seen very little Mosley. I've seen a couple Mosley highlights out of the whole OTAs. I've maybe only seen about 3-4 of his highlights. Just some, just simple work. They said, the reporters have said, some of the reporters that the Jets have, some of the Jets insiders have said that he looks like he never took a break. I don't want to sit here and say that I believe he's going to be the best player ever. But, he was a Pro Bowler when we got him. He was arguably one of the better linebackers in the league. If he didn't lose anything, then that's going to be perfect for the Jets. But they say that he's been flying around the ball. They say that he's been looking like he took no breaks. And like I mentioned, I've seen a little bit of it. I have not seen the whole proportion of it. I've not seen every single, highlight of him. But, you got to hope that that's true. And you got to hope that Mosley's going to come on this year and look like the Mosley why we got him. And is he going to be the same Mosley that he did? He might still be good, but I don't know if he'll be the same. But they say that he's looked very good. And I'm pumped that we got Mosley back, because we've been missing a guy like him. Not only have we been missing just his skill, we've just been missing his veteran presence in the locker room. That's what we've been missing, really. It's not just the skill. It's not just the fact that he probably might be our best he is our best linebacker. It's not just that. It's the fact that it's just the veteran presence in general has been big for him. That's been the veteran presence in general in the locker room, out there on the field. That's been huge. And obviously, that's another thing the Jets gain getting Mosley back, is that veteran presence, that leadership role, that kind of role of, I'm the main guy in the field, I'm the middle linebacker, I'm the guy that's going to get the plays fed into my helmet, I'm the guy that's going to read it off, I'm the guy that's going to help the rookies, and also, I'm going to go out there and perform the best I can out there on the field. So, really, really like where that's headed. The cornerbacking core, it's going to take some time. I haven't heard much about that. I have heard that Michael Carter, one of our cornerbacks, the Michael Carter cornerback out of Duke, I did hear that he has been doing pretty well. Salah said it, some of the insiders that have actually been at Florham Park, actually been at the Jets training facility watching practice, they have said that he has been, he's been good in some of the packages and some of the coverages, but like I said, that's also very early. You put him up against an NFL receiver that's been in the league for a long time, that might change, but you got to also hope that the cornerback this year might be a little bit of a struggle. You got to expect it. As a Jet fan and as an NFL fan, you got to expect the Jets to maybe have some growing pains at the cornerback position. Cornerback, not quarterback. I think Zach Wilson would do just fine in the league. I think he'll be a very good quarterback. And as for, the Duke, Michael Carter, the Duke cornerback that we got, it might take him some time. It's going to take some cornerbacks some time. You got to hope that Bryce Hall, last season, he had a couple injuries. Bryce Hall, I got to admit, and I'm going to just say this, and don't take him and run with him. Let me explain first. Bryce Hall, last season, he did make some plays that made us, as Jets fans, say, wow, this guy's got a bright future to him. And there was also some rookie moments there as well. And that's going to happen as a rookie. He was a rookie last season. This year, he gets a full offseason. He gets the full normal offseason. He gets to go into Coach Salah's system. Or Jeff Ulbrich, whatever ones you want to call it. It's pretty much the Coach Salah's system. He gets, just to develop, learn, fresh start for him. It's almost like this is a rookie year. He was also missed some games last season, too. He had some injuries here and there. So, he made some plays last year that made him look real good. Like the play against the Rams where he picked that ball off. That was a great play by him. And it looked like, wow, like this guy could do that. And there was also some questionable rookie moments. Not going on your job. Just getting beat off the snap. Just getting beat off the ball. Just straight up, just getting beat. That's also happens. No matter how good you are, sometimes guys just get beat. That's just what happens. It's this life of a corner. 1 minute you're on top of the world, you feel unstoppable, and the next minute you're getting beat by a receiver and you're getting burned. So there was a couple of those things. But I believe, you got to hope that Bryce Hall just continues to learn, continues to develop in a new system. You put him into different packages. You just got to hope. And, a guy like LaMarcus Joyner come in here, kind of more of a veteran. You got to hope that he can veteranize that, help those guys out a little bit. Because the cornerbacking core is very young. And it's not amazing, but it's just more so it's just very young. So it's just going to take some time to develop. That's really what it is. It's just going to take time. It's going to take time. And this season, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of trial and error. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of mixing and mashing and, really just trying to find what pieces fit together. That's really what it's going to be at the cornerback. And that's just how it is. Am I mad about it? No. I would love to have the best cornerbacks in the league there. I would love that. But, you also got to realize this Jets team is also building for the future. So you got to hope that these young guys, if they continue to develop, you got to hope that they eventually turn into, some solid assets. And, Bryce Hall, a guy who was supposed to be one of the first cornerbacks off the board before he got a, severe injury in last year's draft, we picked him up. And you got to hope that he turns into his old form. That's what you got to hope. So, Wilson's looked good, has thrown some good passes, thrown some good touchdowns. They've done some red zone drills. He seemed to be connecting with his receivers. Him and Michael Carter really seem to be trying to get going early. He's been throwing a lot to Michael Carter. He's been really trying to, get building with him and Elijah Moore especially. And Denzel Mims, although Mims has been out the past couple days. So, we'll see how it all plays out. Alrighty. So let's just read this quick. Alright, so let's read this just quick kind of update on the OTAs. Obviously, Crowder has not shown up. He's working with some contract situations, but I just wanted to read some of this stuff. So 2 developments at OTAs. Left tackle Mekhi Becton has been sidelined with a foot injury. He won't need surgery per Robert Saleh, but it doesn't sound he will be back soon. Beyond that, Saleh all but said Becton is overweight and needs to do a better job of taking care of his body, which is the truth. I mean, Becton, that's been the one issue with his weight a little bit, and he needs to be a little bit better with his body. The weight, of course, could be exacerbating the foot injury, which is why he's got plantar fasciitis. That could possibly be the reason he's got the foot injury. And then another note was also wide receiver Jamison Crowder is sitting out due to a contract dispute per Saleh. The Jets are trying to get him to take a pay cut on his $10 million non-guaranteed salary. And actually, today it was announced that he was, missing some training camp stuff. And another thing I wanted to mention was missing some training camp stuff, or some OTAs rather. And he was, what's the other thing I want to say? I'm completely losing it here. Okay, so Joe Douglas said that it was nothing involving a release. It was nothing involving that. Saleh said that they want him on the team. It's kind of just a little bit of a contract situation. So, I like Crowder a lot. There's been a lot of rumors going around that he's going to be the odd man out and have to get cut. But, we'll see how it goes. I like Crowder, like I mentioned. I like him a lot. He's been our best receiver, but if it means, to take, less money and he doesn't want it, that might be the decision. But they said it's nothing major. You got to hope that. They say it all the time, and it turns into something major. So you got to hope that they could figure out to get that thing going. Now, they did in the offseason get guys like Keelan Cole, and obviously already had Mims and drafted Elijah Moore and guys like that. And, that's good and all, but Crowder, definitely would be even much better. Alrighty, so those are just some of the updates. A couple other things I kind of just wanted to read this quick article on Jamison Crowder just to really, give you a big time update on really what's going on with him. Another thing, obviously, just the same thing. Wilson's, just still learning the roster and, still and a better, and Mosley as well. He seems to be, they say he seems to be looking like he doesn't even missed any time. So I just wanted to read this quick article on Crowder just to make it clear that it doesn't seem like it's anything major, but it is a contract situation, which happens often. So Jets Jamison Crowder absent from OTAs as he's working through a contract matter. New York Jets wide receiver Jamison Crowder has been absent in OTAs, and first-year head coach Robert Saleh revealed on Friday that it's because of a contract issue. According to Spot Track, Crowder is set to earn a base salary of $10 million, not guaranteed, while carrying a cap hit of $11 million and a dead cap value of $1 million. Saleh was specific in what the Jets and Crowder were working on when it comes to his contract, but he did sound confident that the issue would be resolved soon. And he said this. So Jamison, obviously, he's working through some stuff with his contract with general manager Joe Douglas. And his staff and his agent, all that stuff. Saleh said via NFL.com. So really confident to get Jamison here quickly. And when we do, he definitely has a role for this team. Last season, he had 89 targets, 59 receptions, 699 yards, and 6 receiving touchdowns. Crowder is entering the final year of a 3-year contract he signed with New York back in 2019, and he has been one of the lone bright spots on the Jets offense. Crowder has led the Jets in receiving both of his 2 years and caught a total of 137 passes for 1,532 yards and 12 touchdowns in 28 games played for Gang Green. With his cap numbers being so high, it's safe to assume that Crowder is likely being asked to restructure his deal. The Jets have completely revamped the receiver position this offseason as they signed Corey Davis and Keelan Cole in free agency and also drafted Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss in the second round of 2021 NFL Draft. In addition to adding these 3 players, Denzel Mims could play a larger role in the passing game after missing 7 games during his rookie season. With the legitimate depth at the position, the question could be asked if the Jets even need Crowder. CBS Sports NFL writer Chris Tarpasso also identified Crowder as a veteran who is potentially on the chopping block. However, Saleh said on Friday that he still believes there's a role for Crowder in New York. Absolutely, Saleh said. Jameson's definitely got a role here, and we're excited to have him. So that was just something that he said. And, like I said, they were just working through some things. Now, there has been some rumors, and I talked about not a couple weeks ago. I talked about it early in the off season that, one of the things the Jets might look to do is, moving on from Crowder. And, I look at it as I like Crowder a lot. If I had the choice between him moving on or not moving on, I'd rather him not move on. But at the end of the day, if it means more cap space, if it means to maybe bring in someone else, or to just, we believe what we have best, you just got to hope that there's a reason behind everything, you just got to hope that reasons make sense. And obviously in this case, it looks like it's because of contract. So, you got to hope now, players, they won't budge. If a player wants his money, he's gonna try to get his money. But it seems like it's nothing major where it's like a full-on back-and-forth battle. It just seems like, Douglas is just, with Crowder, it just seems like they're just going through some things. And maybe Douglas is asking, would you be willing to take a pay cut? And if Crowder says no, well, it just might be some things back and forth. I don't know the exact conversation. I don't know if it's, hello, Joe Douglas here. Crowder, how you doing? I don't know if it's that, or if it's just, cut your contract. I don't know what is said on the phone call. But obviously, definitely, it's the contract right now situation is not what the Jets want it to be, and I'll leave it at that. Is it bad? I don't really know. Is it something that's going to be worked through? It seems like they're working on it now. Is it going to be resolved? I don't know. I hope it is, because I do like Crowder a lot, and he's been the best receiver the past 2 years, and he's on the final year of his 3-year deal. So you bring him in, if this year, and then maybe after this year, he's a free agent. There's a very well possibility he's a free agent after this year. If that's the case, then the money that he got is gone. Leave it. This guy's a guy, yes, he's getting older, he's a veteran, but this is a guy who still is a solid asset. And if he's going to be a backup, maybe that's what they're planning on. Maybe they want him to be a backup. If he's a starter, he ain't taking a pay cut if he's a starter. If he's a backup, you might have to have him take a pay cut, especially if he's a backup. But, like I mentioned, this is also, these are just some things they're working through. And, hopefully they figure it out and, they get, rolling here eventually. And Crowder is still a member of this team. That's what I want, and that's what I would like as a Jet fan. So far, OTAs have been pretty smooth. Nothing major. Becton news isn't great. Weight has been an issue with him in his career. He's a very good player, but, he's just got to lose some weight. And that's really, how it is. You just got to hope that his foot gets better. As long as he doesn't require surgery. If he misses all of OTAs and comes back mid-training camp, okay. But if it requires surgery and he misses some time in the season, that's really going to hurt us. So, that's what I got for the Jets OTA update. I think I might do a Giants one coming up. To be honest, the Giants have not had much news coming out of there, neither have the Jets. But even health-wise and injury-wise, the Giants haven't had much. The Jets have had a little bit more. Another thing is Corey Davis has missed some OTAs here just because he had a little bit of a shoulder thing. It's a little bit of a nagging thing, although Saleh said today if it was a game week, he would be practicing. So it means that if it was game, he would play through it. It's not that bad, but they obviously, it's OTAs. It's June 4th. You don't want to push someone now and then have them miss the season. You want to make sure you take it slow. Be a little bit precautionary. Be a little too precautionary. I would rather that. I'd rather than be a little too much than actually, I would rather, because I don't want a guy to get injured, miss a lot of time in the season, and we're missing a key player. If he's injured, take his time. Make sure he's back to 100%. Don't send him out there on an OTA at 90% and have him get injured more. So, that's what I got on the Jets OTA update. Like I said, not much news, but definitely some stuff worth talking about. And, obviously, we get closer and closer and closer to the season, and definitely very close to training camp. And, once we get the full, team here and really start to get a lot of, team reps and a lot of team plays and a lot of scrimmages going, we'll really get a good feeling about what track this Jets team is on. So coming up next, I want to talk about the Lakers getting eliminated. They have been eliminated from the NBA playoffs and lost in the first round. First time in LeBron James' career he has been eliminated in the first round, which is just a crazy thing to think that every year he's made the playoffs, he has gotten past the first round. And most of the time he's gotten to the finals, but not this year. And there's some questions surrounding LeBron James, because he showed some age this year. He definitely did not look like the LeBron we are all used to seeing. I'll get into that coming up next. All right, we're back here. My Katie Pophead here keeps falling down. That happens relatively often. It's not our Panarin, Kevin Durant, Namath, or it's not Panarin, Namath, Gleyber Torres, or Lundqvist. It's always the Kevin Durant. Now, I got to admit here, if I could tell you the order I got these in. So this is Artemi Panarin, this is Kevin Durant, this is Joe Namath, this is Gleyber Torres, and all the way over there, that's Henrik Lundqvist. So I got the Gleyber Torres one first, then I got the Namath one, then I got the Durant one, and I got Panarin and Lundqvist at the same time. So that's that. But anyway, that's besides the point. That's completely off topic. Let's get into the Lakers getting eliminated. So the Los Angeles Lakers, I'm going to be honest, is very surprising, and you are hearing it correctly. The defending world champion Los Angeles Lakers, who are just coming off of a championship, obviously won it in the bubble, have been eliminated. They got eliminated in 6 games by the Phoenix Suns. I think I predicted this series in 6 games. So far, I got the West I've got the West all right. I got the Jazz right. I got the Nuggets and Suns right. And if the Clippers win their series, I'll get in. If I get that right, then I'll be, although it doesn't look like the Clippers will win, but if the Clippers win their series, I'll have the entire Western Conference first round correct. But that's besides the point. Like I mentioned, the Los Angeles Lakers got eliminated in 6 games, lost last night, 113-100, and that is their season. Now, the Los Angeles Lakers, unlike the New York Knicks, go into the offseason with not many questions. Anthony Davis is going to return. LeBron James is going to return. It's not like LeBron's a free agent, and where is he going to go, or Anthony Davis is a free agent, or, there's rumors around Anthony Davis getting traded. None of that's going to happen. The Lakers actually go into this offseason with not many questions. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to be the 2 main guys there next season, and they're going to go for a title run again. And I'm sure to start next year, they're going to be up there as the favorites to win it all. Now, the one issue with this Lakers team, and there is a question, is this season we saw some, I guess you can kind of say, little bit of aging in LeBron James's play. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't mean that he looks like he's aging. I don't mean that. I don't mean that any way. He looks the same he looked like when he joined the league. I don't mean that any way. What I mean is his play really took a little bit of a drop off this year. And especially in the playoffs without Anthony Davis, the Lakers looked lost and could not do anything on the offensive end of the ball. And to be honest, they deserve to lose this series with the way they played. They lost by 30 points against the Suns in Game 5, and last night lost by 13 in Game 6. And obviously Anthony Davis missed Game 5 due to the groin injury, and Game 6 last night, he got taken out 5 minutes into a game because he re-aggravated the groin injury. And I would not say this is on to blame on Anthony Davis because he's getting injured. You can't say, he's injury prone, he can't stay healthy. That's not really Anthony Davis's fault. He landed on his groin wrong. He landed on his leg wrong. It caused his groin injury. And look at him. He had a tough time staying on the court, tough time staying healthy, especially within this series. Now, this Lakers team definitely had some holes, and it's the truth. Now, last season, they won it all, and it was all fun and games, and they won it all. And, the Lakers, doing it all. And this year, again, everyone's projecting the Lakers to, win and do this. LeBron James this season really showed signs of getting old and really showed signs of maybe his career is coming to a close. And I don't mean that in a negative way, like I said. And I've been trying to think about how I want to word this, because I don't want to say, he looks like he's aging. I don't want to say that, because that's a little negative. I wanted to kind of, I want to say, he looks like maybe he's coming a little bit out of his prime. And, not saying that LeBron James is still in his prime, but LeBron James last season had an MVP caliber season. He didn't win it, but he was up there, a top 3 finalist, I believe. He did an MVP caliber season last year. Before the bubble happened and even during the bubble, he was a big part. He was the reason, him and Anthony Davis were the reason the Lakers won the championship. And now all of a sudden, this season, and I understand there was the short off season, and LeBron did have had the ankle injury this season. He said last night in his post-game interview, he said the ankle still hasn't been 100%. I'm not going to say that was an excuse that he said, but obviously it wasn't at 100%. Who knows if that's true, or who knows if that's just him, saying things just to say things. But he did have the ankle injury. And for a guy that's getting older, and for a guy that's, really worn down on a short offseason to get injured in the middle of the year is definitely, I'm sure, a tough thing to take physically and mentally. And that might be part of the reason why he struggled. But especially in the playoffs, he really tended to struggle. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying that this team is only good with Anthony Davis, but in a way, it seems like in a way maybe Anthony Davis in terms of, really helping out this Lakers team might be slightly moving in front of LeBron James, because without Anthony Davis, the Lakers have looked lost. And let me tell you, LeBron James got no help in that Game 5. They were awful in that Game 5. Kadavius Caldwell-Pope and Dennis Schroeder, neither of them scored a point in that game. Schroeder went 0 for 9. KCP went 0 for 1, combined 0 for 10 in that game. Neither of them scored a point. Now, LeBron scored 24 points. He was the leading scorer in that Game 5, but still, he shot 9 of 19. He did his job, and he shot 60%. He did his job, but it just wasn't enough. And LeBron, a couple years ago with the Cavs, he would be able to get the job done with a team that scores little to no points. And to be honest, it's the truth. LeBron James, when he was at the Cavs, he'll put up 45 a night. The rest of the team would put up 30. No, that's a lie. The rest of the team would put up 50, which is actually kind of embarrassing, considering one player put up almost half of the points you scored. And LeBron has also been involved in those type of points. He was involved in, he was involved in, some of the other stuff. And, obviously at the deadline, too, they get Drummond. And you're thinking, okay, Drummond, Anthony Davis, LeBron, and you're thinking, okay, maybe this team starts to head in the right direction. And it's not. And you knew that it was going to be a struggle for the Lakers once they only qualified for the play-in. You knew it was going to be a little bit of a struggle. And obviously last night, Anthony Davis only played 5 minutes. He didn't even shoot one shot. LeBron James played 41 minutes last night. He had 29 points. And, no one else did anything. Marcus All did nothing. Schroeder did have a good game. He had 20. And KCP had 19 as well. But other than that, you look at the bench, there was barely any production from the bench. Kyle Kuzma only had 2 points. Marquise Morris had 2 points. Montrezl Harrell had 2 points. Caruso only had 2 points. And Thornton Tucker actually had a good game. He had 12 points. And obviously Drummond did not play. As a team, they shot 41.8% from the field, which is not very good, and 28.6% from three-point range, and let alone LeBron only shot 30% from three-point range. You look at how the Phoenix Suns played, 50.7% from the field and 51.4% from three-pointer. The Suns were the better team going into this series, and they were the better team throughout the series. The Lakers just got outplayed. They got outcoached, they got outplayed, they got outsmarted. They were not the Suns were just a better team, plain and simple, in this series. You can't make the excuse of, Anthony Davis didn't play. The Lakers were not the better team. The Suns were the better team in this series. They took care of LeBron James. They got the job done, and they are now moving on to play the Denver Nuggets. And the Lakers, LeBron James, who in his play this season showed some signs of maybe the end is closer than a lot of us fans think for LeBron James. And maybe it was because of the short off season. Maybe it was. Right? You got to at least look at both sides of it. You got to look at both sides. Maybe it was the fact that they had the bubble. It was mentally wearing. And maybe that was. And like I said, maybe that was. I don't know. I don't talk to LeBron James. I have no clue. But still, even if it was, he still showed some signs of not being the LeBron James we are expected to see. It's a guy who last season was arguably the MVP. And this year had a drop-off big time. And yes, he did miss, 20, 25 games due to an ankle injury. And it was still, he says, is nagging him. But still, there is slight reason to be concerned that this might be kind of LeBron's last couple real good seasons. You know, if you look at LeBron, how he played last year, I mean, this is a guy who seemed to be getting better with age. He was like the Tom Brady of basketball. And I don't want to say that he's the best of all time, but if you get what I'm saying, like Tom Brady, this is a guy who looked terrible one year. Last year came out and he won a Super Bowl. I don't care how good he played, he won a Super Bowl. LeBron James, same thing. You know, he looked so good last season. This year, did not do well at all, especially in the playoffs here. You know, he wasn't able to really lead his team anywhere, and it's just, you know, there's not getting the job done. And this season, LeBron James, in the postseason, was the leader in points and assists and steals. I got to admit that. But in the regular season, he was not the leader. During the regular season, he had 25 points per game. But he also only played 45 games compared to, some of these other guys who played up to 60, 65, 70 games. So, was it the injury? Was it the ankle? I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe was it the shortened off season? I don't know. But LeBron James going into this offseason needs to rest up. And if the Lakers want any chance of winning it all next season, first off, Davis has got to get healthy. The groin injury has been nagging him, it seems, forever. He's got to get healthy. And LeBron, if it is true that the ankle is still bothering him, he's also got to get healthy. I believe a big thing for the Lakers is getting healthy. I believe that's big. If the Lakers can get healthy, come back next season better than ever, and LeBron maybe just was the down year for him, and that's the case. Maybe it was just a down year for LeBron. I don't know. But for a guy that's been so good, so consistently for so many years, to have a year like this, to have a drop-off like this, to lose for the first time in his career in the first round, there's reason to be maybe concerned that maybe he's not going to play until he's 80 years old like a lot of people think. And I am being sarcastic, but it's the truth. This is a guy that last season we all expected. This is a guy that's aging so well. He's doing so well. He's still playing at a high level. And this season he faced his first little, down year in a long time. And maybe I'm overreacting because we don't see LeBron James have down years like this. Maybe I'm just overreacting. But I'd love to hear your comments down below. What are your thoughts? And like I said, there's not as many questions surrounding the Lakers as some other teams because they kind of have a solid foundation. It's not like, are they going to trade LeBron and Anthony Davis? No, they're not. They would be dumb to do that. But there's some small questions like, is Kyle Kuzma going to be on the team next year? Dennis Schroeder's obviously, I believe, a free agent. Is he going to sign back? Probably not. Drummond, he kind of got signed for the rest of the season. I don't think he's coming back. He didn't even play yesterday due to coach's decision. So, there's definitely some questions, but not as many for the Los Angeles Lakers. And do the Lakers bring in another guy? Do the Lakers go all out? Do they go all out next year and just go all out for another finals? Or they believe they got in Anthony Davis and LeBron James? But, the first round exit, and I want to read you the stat. 14-0 LeBron James was in first round playoff series before this. He is now 14-1. He got lost. He lost. And they lost to a younger and quicker and more just young and speedy Suns team. And that's the other thing, too. They lost to a younger team, which also could be an eye-opener. This is more of a veteran team for the Lakers. They lost to a young team. So, not able to stop Devin Booker either. And the defense was not good. Letting a team shoot, over 100%? Or over 50%? Not good. And I get it. They had the play-in series and all that stuff. But still, they come out and they look good. Plain and simple, they did not look good. And you had a 2-1 series, too. The Lakers had the 2-1 series lead. And then to lose 3 straight like that, that's just... I'm sure it's frustrating for Lakers fans and definitely probably frustrating for LeBron. And, we'll see what offseason brings. If they make any moves, do they, believe that, this team... I mean, you got to people realize this is pretty much the same team that won a championship last year. This year, just for some reason, they just couldn't come together. They just couldn't play well. And I know LeBron and Anthony Davis missed some time where they were both out for a while. But even when they were in, they still were not, up there as, what everyone expected. I believe when they went down, they were like a 3-4 seed, which a lot of people were surprised at, considering a lot of people believe they should have been a 2 or 1 seed. So, it's going to be interesting. But definitely some, I don't even want to say questions because there's not many questions, but definitely some reason to be, maybe a little, just maybe a little interested to really see how this offseason plays out. Because if they do what they need to do in the offseason, maybe they find a. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I don't know what exact word because I don't want to say something and then it come out the wrong way. Meaning like say something about LeBron and then it blowing and then someone taking it and running with it because it's just not true. Like I not saying LeBron like not saying like LeBron like it's gonna be interesting to see if next season if LeBron is what he did this year, that's concerning next year. Because that really maybe age is really starting to kick in. But, I don't know. Definitely surprising. And we'll find out today. The 2 LA teams might be out today. So, Suns, Nuggets, right now at set. Blazers got eliminated last night. And it's the Jazz versus whoever wins the Mavericks-Clippers series, which right now Dallas is up 3-2 and they're home. So, Dallas is home tonight. Luka's been getting better, heating up. Is both LA teams eliminated back-to-back days? That would really cause big... Because I'm going to tell you, if the Clippers lose, I'm going to definitely talk about it if they lose this series. Talk about questions going into an offseason. That's a team that might blow everything up. That's a team that just might enter a full-on rebuild. Because this whole going out and getting everyone, getting Paul George, getting, Kawhi Leonard, if that just all blows up right in front of them, that might be it. I mean, you might be talking about a rebuild. You might be talking about a trade that just, might talk about signings that just backfired right in your face. It's a big game tonight. Big game. I mentioned this. This series for the Clippers is a really, like a franchise-telling series. Because if they lose tonight, the franchise is going to be in such a different situation come next season. I can almost guarantee Kawhi and Paul George probably won't return. That's 2 straight years of supposed to be contending for a finals and losing like you did back-to-back years. It's not even like they got to the finals yet. They haven't even gotten there. So we'll see how it all plays out. All right, but as for yesterday in the NBA, Suns obviously beat the Lakers. They win the series in 6 games, and the Nuggets beat the Trailblazers. They also win the series in 6 games. Talk about questions, Trailblazers. Is Damian Lillard going to be there? Are the Trailblazers going to maybe go all out and try to surround Lillard with some other superstars? We'll see. Clippers, Mavericks today. Today, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. Give me the Mavericks. Give me the Mavericks. Although it's going to hurt my bracket because I'll tell you what. I really would love, and I can show you proof here, I really would love having the entire Western Conference first round right. I predicted the Jazz to win. I predicted the Nuggets to win their series and the Suns. If the Clippers win, I would be getting the whole first round correct. That's, I would say, pretty comfortable. Considering in the Western Conference, I only got 1 right. In the Eastern Conference, I only got 1 right, rather. Actually, no, 2 right. I got the Hawks-Knicks series wrong. I got the Bucks-Heat series wrong. I got the Nets and the 76ers right, which are relatively easy series to pick. But that's what I got. This is my bracket. I've already shown it, but that's it. I don't even know if you can see it. But yes, just proof that the Clippers are on here. But, I mean, Luka's been better, so give him a win. I'm not really rooting for any particular team there. I mean, I think it would create a great storyline throughout the offseason if the Clippers lose. Because we'll be talking about what are the Clippers going to do for the entire offseason until, if anything, a move is made. I mean, there's going to be some interesting post-game questions. If they lose tonight, the post-game questions are going to be interesting. I bet you it's going to be like, Kawhi, do you plan on returning? Paul George, do you plan on returning? I bet you the Clippers, they're going to ask the coach, like, what do you think of this team? What are they going to do? If they lose this series, the amount of questions that will face that franchise, not just that team, the franchise in general, like the future of the franchise is really up in the air right now, depending on what happens in tonight's game. We might have not seen a game that has a lot more implications on it than this game. If they lose tonight, the franchise could be set back for 5-6 years from now. It could be just set back. You could be talking about things. You could just be talking about this franchise being completely set back if they lose tonight. And we'll find out. I mean, not that I'm rooting for them to lose, but I think it would create an excellent offseason conversation if Kawhi and Paul George do decide to leave. Where do they go? I don't think they would team up again because obviously it didn't work there. I don't think they would team up again. Nor would I think a team would want them to team up again because obviously it didn't work in the first place. I mean, does one of them stay? I mean, if anything, I think Kawhi would go. Paul George might stay. I mean, even now, just like, you look at me now. I'm already talking about it before the series isn't even over yet. They could still win it, but I'm just thinking of things now. I mean, Paul George might stay, I guess. Kawhi, I mean, what? He's a free agent, so, I mean, they're going to have to make a decision on him. Now, if they win the finals, he very well could also leave even if they win the finals. But, he might want to come back. And then, as a New York sports fans, if Kawhi and Paul George decide to leave, that the Knicks fans are going to be all over that, hoping that one of them comes there. They're going to be all over the place with that. It would just create a very long and entertaining offseason. It's going to be like a lot of waiting. It's just going to be like, okay, when are they going to sign? Where are they going to sign? Are they going to sign with another big name? Or are they just going to go there solo? I mean, Kawhi did get a championship with the Raptors solo, so he can do it. I mean, he did have Lowry and Siakam on the side of him, but not like a superstar on the side of him. And obviously, I mean, Paul George, he's gone to the playoffs a lot, but he's never won a championship. I don't believe anyway, right? I don't know. He's never won a championship. So, I mean, he's been with the Pacers. I believe he had Oladipo, but he's not a superstar. And he was with the Thunder, too. I guess you can almost consider Westbrook a superstar. But, I mean, Paul George you could even consider when he was with the Thunder a superstar. I mean, you had 2 MVP caliber players on that team. They just couldn't get the job done. I mean, Westbrook's never had playoff success. But tonight's game's big. Because if they win tonight, you're talking about Game 7, which is, first off, always a big game. Whether it could depend on your franchise or not, it was a big game. This is the only things left. All the rest of the series are set. Nets, Bucks start tomorrow. 76ers versus Hawks. Nuggets, Suns, and then Jazz and whoever wins this series. And if you're a Jazz fan, who do you want to play? Because, I mean, the Clippers definitely... I mean, who's been the better team this series? It's been the Mavericks, even though it's only in 6 games. I mean, the Mavericks... If the Mavericks lose this series, I would even maybe make the argument that the Mavericks were the better team in this series. Because, I mean, the Clippers just... they found some way... I mean, they've had some ugly wins in this series. And then they took 2 at home against the Mavericks. They took 2 on the road against the Mavericks. The Mavericks just weren't playing well. But when the Mavericks are on and Luka's on, the Clippers have stood no chance in this series. I just find it interesting why they find that they're struggling so much. Because they've got 2 superstars. You got a solid supporting cast, and yet you can't do anything. And they fired Doc Rivers last season. Maybe that's what they thought was the solution, but Ty Lue has... I mean, I don't really think the coach is the issue there. It's just that Kawhi and Paul George might not work after all. It just might not. It just might not. But anyway, took me a good 5 minutes there. We got to get to the other stuff here. So as for yesterday's games, the Hurricanes won against Lightning, so it's a 2-1 series lead now. Lightning lead, and the Bruins beat the Islanders, so Bruins are up 2-1 in that series as well. The Isles fell behind early. They had chances, couldn't put them back in the net. Barzal scored late, and then the Bruins scored in overtime. And Varlamov didn't play a bad game either. He let up a goal early, and I was like, oh gosh, it's going to be a long one. And I was like, get Sorokin ready, because he let up one early. He let up one 5 minutes into the game or something. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. Maybe it was more like 10 minutes into the game. But it was early. It was the first period. And I was like, oh gosh. And it was something that was glovable too. I mean, it was a shy. It wasn't too hard. It was glovable. I believe it actually might have tipped off his glove because the puck, after it shot, it went down. It didn't stay off. I believe he might have got a piece of it. And you could tell him too. He was looking at his glove after it. How did I get that? Then Varlamov, let up one goal. Let up 2 goals, rather. Scoring 1 goal, it's not going to help you. And getting the chances that the Islanders have and they couldn't put it in the back of the net, that's not going to help. I didn't think Varlamov played a bad game. The Islanders just had chances. They just couldn't put it in the back of the net. And for an Islanders team who has done a pretty good job this season of actually converting on those chances, they struggled a little bit. All right, so today we got the Canadiens and the Jets. Give me the Canadiens. They've been playing well. They're rolling. They're continuing to play well. And then Avalanche, Golden Knights, give me the Avs. Avs have not lost yet. I don't know why I would have them losing this game. They lead the series 2-0. Alrighty, as for today yesterday in the MLB, the Mariners won, Giants won, Reds won, Royals won, Brewers won, White Sox won, Pirates won, Rockies won, Red Sox won, Braves won, and Padres won. Hold on a second. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 home teams won yesterday compared to 1, 2, 3 road teams, 4 road teams. So out of the 12 games that were on yesterday, 8 of them were home wins. I don't even know why I look at this stuff. But anyway, Padres won yesterday 4-3. Mets lose, obviously, so Mets moved to 27-22 on the season. And, Lindor, actually, he got a hit. He got a hit, 2 runs scored, and a walk, and a strikeout. So he's batting .211 right now. Maybe starting to heat up a little bit. I don't really want to say that because he's still batting .211. If he gets up to maybe the .240 mark and he's still hitting well. But it seems like he might be coming around a little bit here. All right, so as for the New York Yankees, the Yankees lost yesterday 9-2. We moved to 31-26 on the season. Rays moved to 36-22. Tough loss. Cole looked good early and then fell apart in those 4th and 5th inning, allowing those 5 runs. All right, so as for the games today, Indians, Orioles, I'll give Indians the win. Pirates, Marlins, I'll give Marlins the win. Phillies, Nationals, give Phillies the win. Blue Jays, Cheaters, give Blue Jays the win. Braves, Dodgers, give Dodgers the win. Rays, Rangers, give Rays the win. Brewers, Diamondbacks, give Brewers the win. White Sox, Tigers, give White Sox the win. Royals, Twins, give Royals the win. Cardinals, Reds, give Cardinals the win. Rockies, A's, give A's the win. Angels, Mariners, give Angels the win. Let's see here. Giants, Cubs, give me the Giants. And then Mets also play today. Mets come in this game 27-22. Padres come in this game 35-23. This game comes on today, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Bally Sports San Diego, and you find this game on SNY. Lucchesi's on the mound for the Mets, and Blake Snell's on the mound for the Padres. Over-under is 7. Give me the Padres. Lucchesi struggled this season. It's also Snell on the mound. Give me the Padres to win. And in that Padres lineup. As for today, the Yankees play against the Red Sox. Yankees come in this game 31-26. Red Sox come in this game 33-23. This game goes on today, 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find this game on LB Network and Yes Network. The Red Sox got Nate Eovaldi on the mound. He's 6-2 with a 4.01 ERA, and the Yankees are rolling out Michael King on the mound. He's 0-2 with a 2.86 ERA. The over-under is 9.5 for this game. And 75% of people say the Red Sox will win. As much as I hate to say it, the Yankees' yesterday performance was so bad, I don't know if they will get the win. They might struggle a little bit. But if they win, definitely give them that. Just give the Yankees the win. It's the Red Sox. Give them the win. Why not? Just give them the win. And the Nets as well will play tomorrow. Let me read you the spread for this game. So they will play tomorrow, and Sunday will be the 76ers Hawks. I'll give 76ers the win. And in Clippers Mavericks, that's if necessary, will be a Game 7. We'll see if that's the case. So the Nets will play tomorrow, and Nets come in this game 3.5-point favorites. The Bucks come in 3.5-point underdogs. The over/under is 239.5. The game's on tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT. And let's see here. Who will win the game? Wow, 59% of people say the Bucks, 41% of people say the Nets. I think the Nets will win. I think they will. Got to be confident in your team. And I'll just give the Yankees the win for reasons. They're Red Sox, might as well. All right, so as for fantasy baseball, I'm currently losing 219 to 175, but today we got going Yerman Mercedes, Jake Cronenworth, Whit Merrifield, Austin Riley, Josh Rojas, Carlos Correa, Alex Bregman, Christian Yelich, Austin Meadows, Dylan Carlson, Manuel Margot, Avisail Garcia, and Yadier Molina. And I got Frankie Montas on the mound. Today, I'm going to make a change here, actually. Probably going to Marcus Semien in for Josh Rojas. Simeon's been really good. Mercedes, he's been struggling, right? Yeah. He's already down to 290. It's kind of funny how I'm saying his batting average is all the way down to 293 because a couple weeks ago he's up in the 360s. I mean, he's been struggling. He went 0 for 3 last night. So I will probably put Will Smith in then over him. I think I might bench him. Give him a day here. Yadier had 3 yesterday. Or 3 on... Yeah. Gene Segura, he had a good game there. Let's see. Matt Olson. They all had days off yesterday. A lot of teams had days off yesterday. Olson's been good recently, though. Olson's been very good recently. So I will probably put Olson in. It's just a matter of where. And that I don't know. I want Cronenworth in tonight because he's been really good. Especially in tonight against Lucchesi, the guy who struggled all year. Is very favorable matchup if he's playing. So maybe, Whit Merrifield, he's been better recently too. So hard. You know what I might do? I think I might hope that one of my outfielders has a day off. Put Merrifield there. Put Cronenworth at second base and have Matt Olson there at first. That's why I got Cronenworth. Because second base, first base, and shortstop. He can play all those. So I'm right now, Manuel Margot's on my bench. So this is my updated lineup. Will Smith, Matt Olson, Jake Cronenworth, Austin Riley, Marcus Semien, Carlos Correa, Alex Bregman, Christian Yelich, Whit Merrifield, Austin Meadows, Dylan Carlson, Avisail Garcia, and Yadier Molina. And I got to also see how the lineups come out. We'll manage that accordingly. Put a lot of thought into this. Cronenworth, I got to put him in. He's probably going to be playing. If he doesn't play, I'm not going to play him, obviously. But if he's in the lineup, I'm putting him in. Very favorable matchup tonight for him. I believe that he could have a really good game. Very favorable matchup against a pitcher that struggled all year. Very favorable there for him. And, Matt Olson's been good recently. Don't matter. Sometimes I just hand it to the hot hand. Whoever you're good. You could be going up against the best pitcher in baseball. If you're hitting well, I'm going to put you out there. Some of it's analytics. Some of it's I'll look at, guys' numbers and see how they're doing. And some of it's just gut. Sometimes, if I see that Yadier Molina is going up against the Pirates, that just seems like a favorable matchup, so I might just put Yadier in. If you're going up against the Tigers, who are one of the worst teams in baseball, even though they swept the Yankees, and even no matter who's on the mound, I might put you in anyway because they're going up against them. If you're going up against a team that just does not have a good pitching staff in general, I'll put you in. Not all numbers. I'll look at some of the numbers. Sometimes I'll look at the guy's career numbers versus the pitcher, but that's so hard. Because you get, guys change. They get better. Pitchers, if you face a guy, if you face a guy 6 years ago, let's say you faced the pitcher 5 years ago. You haven't faced him since. Can you really take that and put it into there? If it's in the same division, you can. Because let's just say you see Garrett Cole, for example. Like Xander Bogaerts. Let's say Xander Bogaerts' career numbers versus Cole. He'll see him a couple times. He's not going to see him now. But if you're in your own division and you see those guys a couple times a year, that's really where you can judge it off. Sometimes it's just gut. Sometimes I just put guys in. And I'll just put them in. Sometimes I just feel like, you know what? I'm going to put this guy in. But anyway, that's what I got for the podcast here today. It was another good podcast in the books. I'll tell you what, I'm really excited for that Nets game tomorrow. That's going to be a good game. I'm pumped up for that. So, so that will do it for the podcast here today. As you all know, I take weekends off. So I will obviously see you all back here on Monday. And everybody, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy all the sports are on. Obviously, have a good weekend like always. And I will see you all back here on Monday. Hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for watching.